Great. Welcome everyone on our Saturday for Sourcing Express training for session 3, which is basically going to be on understanding of a basic Boolean operator of and or not brackets, double quotes in Google search engine. Earlier, what we have done is basically we did cover the same operators, but how do we use those operators basically in LinkedIn or any such job portals? So when we say in LinkedIn or any such job portals, so you might have a question that, okay, do we really uh, differentiate how do we use operators on LinkedIn or any job portal versus any search engine like Google or Bing? Answer is yes, definitely. The way we use operators in LinkedIn or any other job portal is different versus Google, the way we use it, wherein in LinkedIn or any job portals, we are using basically a spelling of the operators, something like and, over, or, not. Not. Double quotes remain same either for the LinkedIn or for Google, and then brackets that also remains same for the LinkedIn or for Google or any other job portal. What differs from the search engine to the job portals or any applications is basically and or not, and over or not not. When we use similar uh, operator on Google, that is what we're going to cover. How are we going to use the similar operators on Google search engine? And again, the pattern remains same forever. Just in case if you have any doubts or anything, please unmute yourself. No need to feel that you're actually disturbing the team members, nothing like that. Everyone is here to learn. So please unmute yourself and ask as many questions as possible. And I love being uncomfortable and answering to uncomfortable questions. And you try your level best to make me uncomfortable by asking some uncomfortable questions. And that's where we learn really good. This is a flexibility. I just tried recently to attend some of the training just to see the pattern. No training, trust me, no training is allowing you or giving a chance to ask questions and which is alive like this. Even if you have a question, there are some monitors or there are some people who are monitoring the questions and only questions what they are comfortable with, only those questions that would be shown on the screen and they would be reading it and they would be answering. But here, what the flexibility we are giving you is to ask as many as questions possible, whatever the kind of a questions possible, we are here to answer. And immediately, as soon as you have a question, it's not that we'll have a Q&A session in the last, and then we'll review all the questions by then, and we'll only answer which has to be answered. And something which is hidden, people will not really answer. That is something I'm not really testing nowadays, just to understand how this not sourcing, basically online training patterns looks like. So I was trying to see such kind of a stuff, but I realized that the way we are giving it, I don't think anyone is there in the market who is providing the platform to ask so many questions. I agree,
I
disagree. You must.
I agree, Shiva. Completely agree. I mean, because I am attending a lot of training and webinars, right? But these are unique kind of training which I'm doing.
Okay, so just to see how is like people are providing a training. I was actually trying to sign up a few. I'm trying to attend few, but I realized that there's a huge difference. Huge difference. Just in case if you want to try it out, just go and check. And anyone here who would have been already attending such kind of a paid sessions, basically, I'm not even talking about free session. I'm talking about paid sessions.
Yes,
मोबाइल से तो
even
एक बार हो गया लैपटॉप में नहीं
even
हो रहा
free session are not like that, like this, Shiva, very specifically. Like even they ask the question possibly at the last moment, right? They are closing the discussion and the training.
And it's all in the air, actually. If someone asks you, they'll directly say, "Hey, you can Google it up. There's a lot of material over there." Then why are we here to learn?
Yeah.
All right. So getting back to the session for today, that is about understanding basic Boolean operator and or not. How do we use this operator? In last session, we did cover how do we use these operators on LinkedIn or any other job portals. Not we did not cover because not has a separate use cases that we'll cover in today's session itself. We'll quickly go over the Google search keywords. Basically, how do we use and or not on Google? And we did also cover a lot of uh, live questions that we had during the last weekend. So how does the pattern looks like? We'll start with the agenda. Sorry. So we'll start with the agenda. We'll have one-liner or two-liners of agenda. Then we join the call. Then we'll immediately capture the notes from our live session. So what does and do? What does operator not do? What does operator or do? All those things will capture the answers over here and also along with the examples. So that in future, if you're stuck somewhere, you already have a Google Doc ready, handy for you to answer your any of those questions so that it will keep you going.
Shiv, I have a question here. Are you sharing
Yeah.
this notes, Shiv?
Yeah, link is shared, right?
No, it is not.
No, it is shared. If you can just look at my signature, the session details which I sent you on a WhatsApp. So not just the WhatsApp group, but also link to the Google Doc.
Okay. Can you paste it here on the chat, Shiv, please?
You're there in a WhatsApp group?
Yes, Shiv.
Okay, so, yeah, let's say here it is. So if you just go here, okay, link to the Google
Yeah.
Doc at the bottom.
Okay, Shiv. Thank you.
Okay, just pick it
Yeah.
up from there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind to
Thank
paste it here, but
Yeah.
yes, definitely I always leave that link to the Google Doc, whatever the important information, important links for YouTube or for WhatsApp or for the Google Doc link, I always leave it over there so that anytime you can review it, just in case if you're stuck somewhere, it will be pretty handy for you.
Okay, Shiv. Thank you so much.
Maybe next time onwards, I'll also start mentioning YouTube, all the videos.
Yeah.
Just in case, let's say, not just the sourcing training, we're taking some training on hiring Solve, some other, something like ChatGPT for Recruiter or any such
Yeah.
trainings or any such classes. Okay, just in case if you want to make sure that you're not missing on it. So trainings, definitely we know that it goes on Saturday and Sundays, but sometimes we might miss. And sometimes there might be some other topics that we would be discussing, or sometimes there might be some other things or some trending things, something like recently we covered ChatGPT for recruiters, or in our hiring Solve session, we also covered how do you basically convince a candidate to join your company while your company itself is on a firing mode. So those kind of sessions are ad hoc sessions. Those are something, again, I'll be uploading in the YouTube. But just in case if you want to make sure that if you're not missing on it, the best way is you can just go and subscribe so that as soon as the video is uploaded, any kind of a video, you'll be getting a notification. But otherwise, pretty much Saturday, Sunday, we're open for a discussion. And I'm encouraging you, each and everyone. Hiring Salt is basically a group where you have at least 700 plus people. Please do come forward and ask your real-time problem statements that you're facing. Basically, how this group will help you, how this actually help you in scaling yourself, whatever the real-time challenges you're facing in your recruiting process or any operational related challenges, something like notice period, something like dealing with the hiring manager, something like tough to deal with the person, something like post-offer negotiation, any such questions, any such solutions. If you do not really have it, just come and post it in the group. Ask it. We'll support you. You lead the discussion. I am there behind you. We'll support you. Though I'll host the discussion, but you are the one who would be leading the discussion. We'll support you completely. And from there, other members, 40, 50 members who sometimes 100 people also has joined. They are the people who would be giving you the various solutions, and that's how that can actually leverage you. Means you can actually leverage this platform to overcome the problems what you're facing in real time. Apart from that, as I mentioned, the group is large. We have a people from the variety of companies. You can definitely means showcase yourself, showcase your skills as well. It will actually give you a opportunity to create your own brand. All right, so coming back to the session now. So notes from today we'll cover, okay? So that's about understanding a basic Boolean operator and or not, double quotes as well brackets on Google search. So for and or double quotes and brackets, we'll quickly complete in next 15-20 minutes because there's a slight difference the way we use in LinkedIn or any job portal versus the way we use in a Google. But if you go in depth, there's a lot of depth. But at the same time, we'll see if we have enough bandwidth for today. We'll cover a not on both the platforms. How does the not works on both the platform? But otherwise, we'll push it to tomorrow because not is actually a lengthy topic. Some people who are experienced must be thinking why not is so lengthy topic. Definitely, while we do a dive deep, we'll get to know that why not is a lengthy topic. All right. So yeah, understanding basic Boolean operator and or not. Let's start with and. How do we use and on Google? Somehow my keyboard shortcuts are not working. Few are working, few are not working. Mm, Windows 12 or 13 it is. Windows. Okay. Four ways to fix key not working. I think it will take time. So if it was quick troubleshoot, we would have done it right immediately. So again, it's a kind of a learning for us. But otherwise, I'll do it in my personal time. So let me manually do it. Okay, so for example, instead of using and for Google, what we're doing is like we are using space. All right. So when I say we are using space, okay, instead of saying rule number one, as in as in instead of using and, we would be using space. Okay, something like, let's go here. So we'll use and we'll use space. Both the things we'll use it. Then we'll come to the conclusion. What does A and D and is doing and what does space is doing. So let's say Java and SQL. All right. Here Java and SQL. And here we'll use Java. Instead of and, we are just using SQL. Okay. So now where do we need to observe is basically a URL pattern here actually. So what is it searching when we search for Java space SQL? So here it is Java and I'll just not go beyond this. I'll just take it till here. All right. Come here. Here it is. And this is Java space SQL. Okay. Now here if you see, when we search for Java and SQL, the search syntax looks like google.com/search. That is, and again, Q stands for a query, which is equal to Java SQL and then and. So Java plus SQL, sorry, Java plus AND and plus SQL. We used here AND and in a caps, in a large cap, in a capital letter, but wherein that and here has changed to small letters. And uh, thumb rule of keywords, are the keywords case sensitive? We covered in past. Are the keywords case sensitive?
No.
No, keywords are not case sensitive. Are the operators case sensitive?
Yes.
Yes, operators are case sensitive. So the operators like and or not are basically case sensitive and has to be written in a large caps. Wherein a keywords are not really case sensitive. They can be written in a large cap, they can be written in a small cap, they can be written in a combination of large and small caps. Let me see if we have covered. Okay. Tick, 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 tick. Maybe as a note we did not cover, but I know that we did cover. Keyword search, thumb rule 1, keywords are basically Okay, let's make it a today's note itself. Mm, mm, mm. So here, use case 3, use case 4, then 3.
Shiva,
Mm,
you missed to put T, NOT.
thank you. All right. Okay, thanks for that. Okay, so now are the keywords case sensitive? Yes. No, keywords are not case sensitive. Are the operators case sensitive? Yes, operators are case sensitive. So now why we are asking in a situation where we are searching for Java and SQL, why do we really need to understand about why keywords are case sensitive? The reason because whatever we are giving in a search, um, though our understanding is this and is giving us a list of result with Java and SQL, and must be doing its job as an operator of and. But wherein, when we see that this and getting changed to small cap, okay, and then Java which we have written, J is capital, AVA is a small letters, S is capital, QL is a small letter, but wherein it gets into the query, search query, JAVA Java, which is becoming all small, SQL, which is becoming all small, AND, which is becoming all small letter. That means it's not really considering and as an operator. It's basically considering and as a other keyword. So this is a very short example, but when we go on a very lengthier Boolean where we have used 32 keywords or more than 32 keywords, that's where we'll realize that and or or is basically understood by Google as an additional keyword, but not really as an operator. And that is where when it's sitting on a URL part of it, it's getting into the small letters. So similarly, now if you see, I'll just okay, now if you see here, Java space SQL. Okay, so what is searching for? Java plus. Okay, so what is it searching? Java plus SQL. So here this plus is actually and. Though we'll not use that plus in our searches, Java plus SQL like that, but that space itself is and for Google. And what wherever there is a space, how much of the lengthy search you give? Java, SQL, Python, then okay, Java, SQL, and Python. Okay, now if you see here it becomes Java plus SQL plus Python. So that basically that whatever the space is over there after which, okay, after the keyword and before the keyword, that space is actually becoming plus over here. Java plus SQL plus Python. So for Google, space itself is and. And when we use and, Google is considering that as an additional keyword. It's not considering as a operator, but wherein it's considering as an additional keyword. but wherein when we do not use and just give a space, it considers as a okay, fine. This human is searching for any information which has Java and SQL as a keyword. Are we good? Payal says I'm not audible. Rest of the people, am I audible?
No, you are. You are.
You are audible, Shiv.
Yes, you are audible.
You are audible.
Great, no worries. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, I'll just take a pause. Any doubts? Why do we need to use space instead of and while we use it in Google? We're good?
Yeah,
Yes,
sure.
no? Great.
It's
Okay.
great. Good.
Sure. Now, point number 2. Okay, as in instead of using or, we should be using anyone here?
Right?
Awesome. Pipe or a standing line in a kid's language. This is standing line, which is just after enter. So you just need to shift plus that standing line. Okay, here it is. So shift plus this one. This is which is above the enter. So shift plus enter, that is a standing line. All right, which is a standing line, which is shift plus enter. You can't do a caps and enter this. It doesn't take like that. We have to use shift plus enter. By using instead of using or, we should be using standing line. That is pipe. Which on Windows keyboard. Shift plus button, I would say. Tab would confuse. Button. Above the enter.
So, why is that, we are using pipe instead of or? I understand that, both of them do the same operation. So is it like if we use pipe, it is going to save space and the string would look short? Is that the reason?
It's not that's only the reason. O or, it's similar use case when we use and. Okay, now let's say instead of using and, we are using O or. And thumb rule of or, whenever we use or, we have to make sure that we are closing it with the brackets. Okay, so now again, if you say here, For example. Okay, so okay, now here we have used Java or SQL. So I'll just take this part. And similarly, tick, tick, tick. So on a shorter example, yes, as you're saying that both are giving us a similar result because these examples are really short. But when we go on really a lengthy strings, that time you'll understand what the difference with OR and what the difference with pipe actually. So now let's say here we have used Java or SQL. That is pipe. Okay. Now in this example also you'll see google.com/search query equal to. So wherever there is a opening bracket that has become %28. And what does the closing bracket has become? Wait a second, let me just take this again once more. That has become, let me take it till equal to. Okay, now here, opening bracket which has become %28, closing bracket which has become %29. That is the algorithmic meaning of those particular symbols or special characters. And then space, wherever we have used space, that has become plus. And then yeah, that's it. Okay, so wherever we use plus, wherever we use space, it has become plus. And then that opening bracket element has become %28, and the closing bracket element has become %29. But wherein or if you see here, that has remained again as it is, the way we have given in large cap. Again here it has stayed as it is. So it's kind of a open ended, wherein when we are using and has become in a small case when it has ended up into the URL. So that means and is not really understood as a Google here as an operator, but instead it is understood as a keyword, and. Similarly, Java, and as a keyword plus SQL. So that's what it's doing it. But wherein when we search for Java space SQL, it has just given us Java plus SQL. Similarly, when we came here and when we used open the bracket, Java space or space SQL, close the bracket, opening bracket element has become %28, closing bracket element has become %29, spaces has become plus plus, and the or which has remaining, which is in first use case of and, that and has become a small cap, but wherein a second use case of or, that remained as it is. Let's see why. So let's say here we use Java, SQL. Let's say now, first debug Java or SQL. Okay, now, so now in this example also, okay, I'll just remove these brackets. Let's go here. Let's go search Java or SQL. That doesn't change. Then we just go here, Java or SQL. We're just kind of trying to debug and trying to understand by using brackets, is it really making a difference? In some searches, it is. In some searches, it is not. Now, if you see here in this case, we use 2-3 times in different windows. Now, in this case, if you see that percentage, that opening bracket and closing bracket has not really changed, has not really become percentage 28 or percentage 29. It has become just opening bracket on closing bracket. That remained as it is. Similarly, J, what we have given, has remained as it is. SQL, which we have given in a large cap, S in a large cap, QL in a small cap, that all remain as it is. So in that way, what we can conclude is basically when these keywords are sitting on the URL, sometimes it is changing, sometimes it is not changing. But what it is actually constant is something, the space which we are using, that space is becoming plus, that is something constant. And the second thing, consistency over here, when we use Java space, that has become plus, then pipe. Here the pipe has become percentage 7C. So now opening bracket has percentage 28, like earlier case. Closing bracket has become percentage 29. SQL has remained as it is. Java has remained as it is. But Java space, that space has become plus. And then this space also, after pipe space also has become plus. But wherein that pipe has become percentage 7C. That percentage 7C is nothing but the algorithmic meaning of or for Google. And that is where that pipe has not remained as it is. It has become something else. Now we'll repeat the same search again in a new window, and you will never experience that pipe is not changing. Means pipe is remaining as it is. Pipe will be always percentage 7C. 100 times you run it, it will be as it is. Means it will become percentage 7C. With one keyword, with 100 keyword, with space, without space, that pipe is becoming percentage 7C. Now what we'll try to do, we'll just try to remove the spaces and see, will that pipe remain as it is? Now, that is again percentage 28, Java. We did not use any space. That's the reason there is no plus, but pipe has become percentage 7C, and then SQL, which remain as it is, and then closing bracket, which has gone as a percentage 29. So actually here, some character or special character like opening bracket, closing bracket, space, which is no character, some character, special character, and no character. Some character, opening bracket, closing bracket, special characters like standing line or wavy, space, which is no character, some character, special character, and no character. So characters basically, which are actually having some algorithmic meaning for a Google in a backend. But when we use for the keyword, as we say, keywords are not case sensitive. It can be used in a capital letter. It can be used in a small letter. It can be used with a combination of capital and small letter. And when they sits in the URL, sometimes it changes, sometimes it doesn't changes. That doesn't make a difference. But wherein what makes a difference in this, what is constant in the change, whatever the characters we are using or no characters we are using, something like opening bracket, closing bracket, standing line, or the spaces, all those when they sits on the URL from here search bar to when they sits on the URL, when they generate a query, it is becoming some algorithmic alphanumeric number or alphanumeric character or something. That is where the what we say encoding, decoding. So those are the coded versions of these things. I don't have a right word, but let me just come here. Where is start? Yeah. So these characters are always changing when we are keeping them in a, means when we are using them, and when they gets into the URL part of it, that tends to change because that has some algorithmic formula or algorithmic meaning behind it in a Google search engine. So I'll just take a pause. Any doubts on why are we using pipe instead of or? Though both are doing the same job, but does it really make a difference? Yes, it does make a difference because when we see here, we used or, this or remained as it is. It does not change. That means Google is actually understanding it as an additional keyword. It's not really understanding it as a operator. So things which are not changing in the URL part, how do you debug in future also whether this operator is working or not? The best way to debug, to understand any operator in Google, whether it is working or not, search with that operator, get into the URL part of it, and try saying, has that operator changed in a backend? Means when this sits on a Google URL, has it changed? If it is changed, then that has some algorithmic meaning in the backend. But if it doesn't change, then it clearly states that it is using it as an additional keyword, but not as an operator. So I'll just take a pause. Any doubts or any question? Now, one more beautiful thing.
Shiv,
Yeah.
your laptop battery is drying off. I think. Just you have to charge
Let
it.
me just on. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, now it is good. Now let's say here we have used Java or SQL. Here we have used Java or SQL. Okay. Now the power of double quotes. Okay. So when we use like this, Java without space. Okay. Does really space matters? Do we need to give a space whenever we use or before and after pipe? No. We'll do that die deep also, but let's go for a power of double quotes. And in this session itself, we'll do a die deep. So instead of searching for open bracket Java, standing line, SQL. Okay, sorry. Before I go there, I'll just take a pause. Any question on how do we use OR in Google? Do we really need to use pipe versus OR? Answer is yes, we need to use pipe versus OR because when we are using OR, it's not really understood by Google as an operator. It understood it as a additional keyword. So this we might not realize on a shorter keywords like Java or Google or Java or SQL. But when we go with the longer keywords, you would realize. And apart from that, it also helps you in saving your space instead of like when I say 32 keywords and all, it has some space limitations. When we really gets into the advanced level of sourcing, when we are there in the creating a Google custom search engines, that's will realize that why we should not be using OR and why we should be using that pipe. Something like recently I created one, even I shared in our groups also. That was a long back, but recent one I'll just show you. Mm, mm, mm. Okay, so here if I use OR instead of using pipe, and again when I use OR, though Google will might understand or will understand, I don't really have a right answer for it. But the space here, I have a limited space. So instead of using OR, I would use pipe. And when I use OR, okay, and when I use OR, I definitely have to give a space before and after OR, which is consuming an additional space. But when we say paid, pipe promotions, pipe promoting, pipe campaigning, pipe advertising, then PPC, click, ad, star, AdWords, ads, online, e-commerce, channel, Google, AMZ, Amazon, FK, Flipkart, Flipfacecart, Agio, Myntra, Paytm, Hopscotch, Shopperstop, IKEA, Meesho, whatsoever. Now, if I go ahead and use or over there, then we have to give a space before or after or. I can't really mix or, which is an alphabet, with other alphabet, which are my keywords like Tata or. What does it search for? It doesn't really make a difference. If I search something like this, What will it understand? It will just get confused because over or is not an operator here. It's an additional alphabet and it can search ORCHNIL as a spelling, but not really as a operator. So this is on a 2 advanced level. We'll get there on our advanced session, but to give an example and but to give an importance of pipe versus or, I have to dig it. So that's where it is. So I'll just take a pause. Any doubts, any questions? We're good? Why we should be using pipe instead of using or while we use or operator in Google? Yes, no?
Yes,
Yes.
Shiv.
Awesome. Okay, and how do we use over or? That is by giving a pipe. So that's about over or. Now, I would say double quotes, Java pipe, which is again or, SQL, close the bracket, space is and for me, sorry, space is and for me, again double quotes, Java or SQL, close the bracket, and again double quotes. What is double quotes? So here we have a phrase, here we have, I don't say anything, but let it come from you. If I call this as a phrase, what should I call this? Something like software space engineer. I'm going to keep in a double quotes so that I would get software engineer as it is in the search result. Double quotes remain same for Google or for any job portal. It doesn't change whenever we just want to search for the exact phrase as it is. That's where we are using these double quotes. But now, yes, if I call this as a phrase, open the bracket Java space or space SQL, close the bracket and then close the double quotes versus this one. Any which ways, we'll just go ahead. This is why we'll understand the power of double quotes. And at the same time, you will realize that this pipe in this case has actually not really changed. It has not become %7c. Oh, it has become. That's awesome. So this pipe has become again, even though we used in double quotes, still that pipe has become %7c. That means still that pipe has that value of it. Google says, however, you give that pipe within the means with space, without space, and within the double quotes, but still in a backend, I have a value for it. So definitely you can't change that value. But when we use this or, open the bracket Java space or space SQL, wherever space which has become plus or has remained as it is, SQL has remained as it is, opening bracket, closing bracket has remained as it is because we gave again in a double quotes. But when you see, now we have given in the double quote for pipe, the value has remained, but for the opening and closing bracket, the value has not changed. That means Google saying, okay, fine, double quotes has a higher value, means higher weightage versus this thing. Highest weightage is for the or, even if given the double quotes, it's not changing. It is going for %7c, but additional things like open the bracket, close the bracket, when we're using the double quotes has remained as it is, did not become %28 or %29, has did not taken that algorithmic definition of it, has remained as it is. That means double quotes has a second power. First is or, second is double quote, and after that any other operator. Now let's say we just remove this brackets. Okay, Java again %7c, then Java space or space SQL. So though we are getting Java or SQL, here. The reason because the %7c has changed. %7c is basically an operator. It is still trying to understand. It's still trying to search for a result which has Java or SQL. That's the reason we are getting a results. Now let's say we just remove this pipe and put hyphen. Okay, so we might get that hyphen would get exchanged with some other characters, something like dot, comma, forward slash, backward slash, something like that. And it will start giving us where we have a Java and SQL as it is. Is this working Java or SQL? If we debug it individually, we would see that it's actually working, but in such a way that where Java and SQL are actually in the phrase. Though we are seeing here the results, but once we open the results, we would definitely see this phrase here and there. So Java and SQL are pretty common, but let's have some fun. That's where we'll realize that, okay, yes, instead of Java, let's use my favorite, biryani.
Shiv, I have a question here.
Mm.
Within the quotes, whatever you are using, is it case sensitive?
No, keywords are never case sensitive.
No. Whatever you are using, I mean, whether it is keywords or operator is case sensitive, but not the keywords, right?
Not the keyword. And here or also is actually understood by Google as a keyword only. It's not understood by
Okay.
Google as an operator. For that, we are doing this example. So for Java or SQL, we are getting the result. And when we open those pages, we might see that phrase as it is, Java or SQL. Here on a high level, we are seeing Java here, SQL here. But let's use some unusual examples. Biryani versus what?
Kebab.
Hmm?
Kebab we can use.
No. I need completely opposite, a completely different family now. Let's say popcorn. It's strange. People might not eat popcorn with biryani. Okay. Now understand the power of that double quotes, though we are using or here. So these are just the ads that you ignore. Popcorn here, biryani here. So these are again, are these ads? Wikimix. So again, this is giving us lots of false positive result. The reason being, Google has that much of data. And it tries to give, what we say.
If actually double quote should as it is.
So this is again ads.
Inside double quotes, whatever we keep, right?
Now we are losing you.
Am I good now?
Kind of. Tell me.
Your voice is also breaking actually. I don't know if the issue is at my side or your side.
Is
No,
it
no,
with
she-
everyone?
No, Shiv's voice is perfect. No problem.
Okay. Yeah, I was saying
Please
that, yeah, whatever we put under double quotes, Google should fetch us the results as it is, right?
As
in
it is,
this
yes,
case,
absolutely.
yeah, in this case, the results should have biryani space or space popcorn
As it
together
is,
and not as
absolutely.
separate words, right? So why is that the
Absolutely.
results are different from our expectation?
Exactly. So now recently that there's a change in a Google algorithm. What it's trying to do is like it's actually trying to uh, uh, basically they have lots of data. So they're trying to, since the time this Google or LinkedIn or anything, okay, they have included slow machine learning in it. Since then, what's happening is like they're actually trying to come up with the results with assumptions. So these are not the straightforward results. These are all the results with assumptions. So what it's trying to give, okay, fine. Biryani or popcorn. Our expectation is biryani space or space popcorn. We should see the list of results, which are something like this, as a phrase as it is. But it is still giving us a list of results where biryani is somewhere and popcorn is somewhere. because that's again a false positive results, and those are the results which are coming up with the assumptions, what Google is assuming. That is not actually thing what we really want. In previous sessions, if you see, we used the same example and we did not really find it because that time there were no assumptions. But recently the Google algo has changed and it has started coming up with the assumptions, which are the keywords we are giving in the double quotes also. That has actually broken and it's actually taking up those particular keyword and trying to come up with the assumptions. But there is again a workaround. We'll come there slowly.
So Shiv, actually, in this case, double quotes is not serving the purpose, right?
That's where I'm coming.
Because
Recently, there has been
Yeah.
change in a Google algo. So how do we use that? Biryani or popcorn? Are we really getting a list of result where we have that biryani or popcorn as a phrase as it is? In this result, obviously no, because it's actually coming up with an assumption. And you are correct that it's not really solving the purpose of it. Then how do we make Google to solve the purpose of it? That's the question stands in that case, right?
Shiv,
yeah, that's correct.
I have a question here.
Mhm.
For this, we have changed the operator. So, like, if we go logically by the operator, then Google is giving the expected result. So, I'm not sure if I'm, lagging in understanding over here. So, right now we are using or, so that's what the Google is doing, either this or that.
Okay, let's
So
say
this
we
or
remove or. We'll
Sure.
go with
doesn't
biryani
function
popcorn.
as operator
Yeah,
actually.
yeah. Okay, can you try with and let's see what happens.
No, let's
Sure,
remove or and. Let's remove the operator itself.
Okay, okay.
Let's go with biryani space popcorn.
Yeah, space itself a plus actually anyway.
Okay, so biryani space popcorn within the double quotes. So biryani popcorn as it is. So these are all the results. So biryani popcorn, biryani popcorn, biryani popcorn, biryani popcorn, biryani popcorn, few false positive, biryani popcorn, biryani. I never heard biryani
Oh,
popcorn will
even
be
people
the
eat with
combination.
biryani and popcorn. Strange.
Okay, but yeah, we have a results now, if you see. But yes, when we
But Shiv,
inserted that,
Shiv, the thing is, biryani or popcorn, when you use that keyword, you have to use the bracket as well, right? Since you are using or.
let's go with that as well. Biryani or popcorn.
But Shiv, correct me if I'm wrong. Whatever you're putting inside double quotes, even if it is or wouldn't work as operator, right? So Google will simply interpret it as a
No,
sentence,
you are correct.
whatever.
That's what I'm saying. You are correct, in fact. Okay, when we are giving a double quotes, it is actually a strong command for a Google that give this particular keyword as it is.
Exactly.
Okay, but now, as I mentioned that recently there has been change in a Google search algos where the double quotes is actually not solving the real purpose, wherein if you see just the 1 month or 2 months back, okay, whatever we give in double quotes, it used to come as it is, even though we are given here on or not or anything. But
Correct.
now if you see in double quotes, we are giving biryani or popcorn, we are still finding a results with biryani or popcorn. Biryani somewhere, popcorn is somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so that has actually
But
broken. Hmm.
But the thing is, if you use the double quotes, you have to use it for each word because you are using the operator or here, right? So biryani should be in double quotes or and popcorn should be in double quotes. If
See,
I'm
double
wrong,
quote
please
can be
correct
used
me.
even for a single word or even for a double words.
No, since you are using the operator or here, so you have to use it for each word.
No, nothing like that.
Nothing like that.
No, nothing like that.
Okay.
So just in case, when tomorrow we go, when we searches and whenever searches become lengthy, about 30 to 40 keywords,
Yeah.
in that case, what Google start doing is that the result which has the least number of keywords, it starts dropping those keywords. It says
Got it.
missing, missing, missing. So when we
Got it.
want that missing keywords as a must to have, that's where we select that and immediately it gets into the double quote.
Okay, so you
That
are
is in a
putting
little advanced,
all
we'll
the
understand.
thing together
That is
and
in
put it up.
little advanced searches will understand that. Keep that in
Okay.
mind. Definitely will come there in few sessions. Then you'll understand the importance of that particular double quotes. But
Got
now, for now,
it.
when we are using that double quotes with the operators in between, so Google is actually trying to give a trying to give a weightage to those particular operator because we are using those particular operators in between. But does that mean that here Google is trying to show us a list of results, biryani or as an operator and popcorn? False positive. In such short example, where we are just searching for biryani or popcorn. But when we go for a longer strings, that is where we'll realize that it is actually not doing what it is supposed to do. And that is where the false positive results are coming. Even in this
Okay.
also, as someone mentioned that, who was that? That the expectation was to give biryani or popcorn as it is.
Satish,
Satish, yeah. So Satish, yeah, you're correct. Okay. So as I mentioned, it has recently broken and your expectations were right actually. It should be giving us biryani space or space popcorn as it is. But right now it is not giving. It is giving us a false positive result because there's a use data. There's again slow machine learning, which is incubated in this. And apart from that, um, when we go for some of the longer keywords, that time we'll understand that it's actually not solving the purpose. It's not really understanding. It's actually getting confused. So other than double quotes, then what is that we should be using? Is there any workaround? When we go on a longer, when we go on some of the advanced session, when we use some of the longer keywords, where the keywords are crossing beyond 15, 20 keywords, that time we'll realize, okay, what is that we should be doing? In a very such short example, it is really difficult for us to understand what is actually doing it over here. Is it really searching for biryani or popcorn? Or is it really searching for, like when we just removed or, we still got biryani popcorn, but there were still some of the false positive results, which were biryani, comma popcorn, biryani dot popcorn, something like biryani, comma popcorn, or biryani popcorn is here. So hash biryani, hash popcorn. So does that double quotes really working? Recent algorithm changes? I would say not really. But will it really work? Yes, really. On some of the advanced keywords. With these two examples, it's really difficult to understand whether it is working or not. So I'll just take a pause. Any doubts, any questions? Let's use some other keywords instead of that. So again, space,
Hello.
again.
Yeah, if this is Rahul here. I have
Mhm.
a question. If biryani and slash popcorn, if we keep, what is the output that we can get?
Let's see. Let's remove this. Let's remove this. Let's go with slash. Biryani slash
Slash is a
popcorn.
symbol is for what? It is
Forward slash.
no,
Biryani
not
forward.
forward.
Pipe.
No, not that.
Standing line.
Standing line. Standing line. What is the symbol for that actually?
That is percentage 7C.
No. This biryani forward, not forward slash. Percentage 7C, but when we keep without forward slash, when we keep a slash biryani slash popcorn, what is the output that we can get?
See now here, if you see this forward slash has become a percentage 2F. So it still has some algorithmic meaning in the backend. When we say it still has some algorithmic meaning in the backend, now if you see here, we are also getting a results biryani, comma, space popcorn, biryani, space popcorn, biryani, space popcorn, biryani, space popcorn, which was not the obvious previously. 1 month, 2 months back when we searched biryani forward slash popcorn and then close with the double quotes, we only used to get the result where biryani forward slash popcorns are
Not
there.
forward slash. I'm asking you just slash a slanting line, a line. That's all.
Even the standing line also.
Biryani, a line, popcorn.
Exactly. Biryani, standing line, popcorn. Even that is also, now if you see this one, okay, that has become biryani, percentage 7C and popcorn. But we come here, now biryani has gone somewhere, popcorn has gone somewhere. So it is still searching as it is giving more weightage to that standing line percentage 7C as a or. That's where even though if you give in a double quotes, so just try understanding the level of weightage. Jaisa Broadma's theorem hai, the way it is a Broadma's theorem, uh, first it is additional, then it is subtraction, multiplication, and something like that. Similarly, it also has got the order now. Now, if you see here in double quotes, we have given standing line. And then we have closed with the bracket, biryani, standing line, and popcorn. And then here, when we gets into the search bar, in the URL bar, that standing line has become a %7C. That means though we are giving it in the double quote, still it is giving a first weightage to that %7C to the standing line. And biryani is somewhere, popcorn is somewhere. In all our search result, biryani is somewhere, popcorn is somewhere. There might be a possibility where biryani and popcorn are together. But instead of this standing line, which is OR operator, instead of that, when we are using this /, then we are getting biryani and popcorn close together, but with some special operators or no operators, something like comma, something like space, something like dot. So all those things. And this / has become again a %2f over here. So that means it has some algorithmic meaning in the backend. When we use biryani plus popcorn or biryani and popcorn and would remain as it is, and then that space will become plus, and then double quotes will go as a double quotes. Now, if you see here, biryani and popcorn, we are getting a list of result biryani and popcorn as it is. That means and here is understood by Google as a keyword, not as an operator. Here we have given and in a caps, but wherein what it is highlighting is biryani, and where A is in a caps and ND is in a small. But still we are seeing the result biryani and popcorn. Biryani and popcorn. Biryani and
Shiv,
popcorn.
I have one question. You have mentioned a double quote, then opening brace, then sentence biryani and popcorn, then closing brace, then double quote. What if we write this opening and closing brace after double quotes?
After or
no, before. Earlier we were writing like this, right? But
are you
if
saying
we
like this?
No, I'm not saying like this. Yeah, here. If we after this double quote, if we just mention this opening and closing brace. Not here. Here. Not here. Not here.
Let's see for this case, then we'll see for that case. So when we put the closing bracket inside the bracket, that becomes a kind of a phrase, but still, as I mentioned, first priority Google is giving for OR, which is the standing line. Second priority, when we are going with that particular double quotes, in few cases it is working, in few cases it is not working. So let's say now we go with this, okay, within the double quotes. So biryani and popcorn, that has become %28 and %29, opening and closing brackets. But is it really considering that opening and closing brackets? See, opening and closing bracket are basically a operator character operator in style of character. Operators in style of character, yes. So the way we have some operator in style of alphabets like and, or, not, in URL, in title, all those things. This opening bracket, closing bracket, or pipe, these are the operators in a form of characters. So that could be the right line, operators in a form of characters. Now, if we see here, double quotes, we have given, open the bracket, biryani and popcorn, close the bracket, and again, double quotes. We'll still see the same result, whether we use that bracket or not. We are seeing biryani and popcorn as it is, biryani and popcorn as it is. But when we are using OR over there, then actually we are indicating a wrong signal to the Google. It's actually, we are actually trying to confuse Google. Now, instead of OR, instead of and, let's say biryani nahi popcorn. 0 results. Why? Because there are absolutely no results. Rest of the results, we have it. But do we have, and these are all the Google search features actually. Okay, those are not the part of our searches. But when we say biryani nahi popcorn, is there anything existing on the web as a phrase biryani nahi popcorn? It's not existing. That means it's 0. Similarly, when we use biryani or popcorn, we are confusing Google. And Google is also the recent algorithm, which is actually not going strong, which is actually trying to come up with the assumptions. and it's actually getting confused. And we got biryani and popcorn, but when we use or, we have confused it. And do we really need to use or as a keyword, as a alpha? Answer is definitely no. Maybe in short string, we are using it, but when we go and build some longer string, when we go and build some custom search engines, that's where we'll realize the power of pipe versus or. Another benefit of pipe, there can be a space or there cannot be a space before and after pipe. When we use pipe like this, standing line, there is no difference. There can be a space, there cannot be a space, there can be a space, there cannot be a space. Biryani space pipe without space popcorn, it still understands biryani or popcorn. And that space becomes percentage 7C and that space becomes plus. Can I use like this without space? Yes. Recently, I've seen our Google custom search engine also. That was a use string where here we have used instead of or. When we use or, it's mixing with other alphabet and Google is not really understanding it, whether it is an operator or a keyword. But when we use instead of or, and now we do it pipe. Google understands it as a or. Now, similarly, when we went ahead, we said biryani nahi popcorn. We really have no result. The reason because there is no phrase existing with biryani nahi popcorn. And what these double quotes are doing, maybe there is no phrase existing with the double quotes, but let's see, there can be a phrase which is existing without a double quotes, but still zero result. Biryani wala popcorn. Absolutely no results. So still double quotes has a value to it. It's just that sometimes we should not confuse it. We should not use or with the double quotes. Otherwise, we are confusing Google. Got the answer, Satish?
Yes, chef.
Awesome. So yeah, I'll just take a pause. Any questions? Why we should use pipe instead of or and double quotes? What double quotes is? The power of double quotes. And why we should not confuse Google? Because if we confuse Google, Google will also get confused and they'll start giving us false positive results. So that's about or. About pipe. Double quotes pretty much we covered and comes to that bracket. Thumb rule of or, whenever we use or, we are using bracket. At least for now, keep that in mind. Wherever we use or, we use bracket. Is there a use case? Can we use bracket with and? Answer is yes, but not now. When we go to some of the advanced searches, nested searches, Boolean in Boolean, that is where we'll cover. Even though when we use and, we can use bracket because we are trying to nest it. But for now, for not to make at least the beginners or the mid beginners confused, keep in mind just one thing, whenever we use or, we are using a bracket. Good.
Sure, quotes as well, like, should we use it with or? Like, is it essential or it can be omitted?
What should be? Sorry, I
I'm a bit
lost you.
confused here. This quotes, should we mandatorily put it when we are using or should we remove?
See, don't
Sorry,
get confused
not
with or and
with
double quotes.
standing
Double
line.
quote. Don't get confused with or double quotes. Double quote is only when we need a particular phrase as it is. Use case 3. Basically, double quotes also help us. Okay, so there are two use cases of double quotes. Use case 2, basically double quotes also help us, giving us a strong command, even for a single word as a must to have keyword. Use case 3, basically double quotes also help us while we give a keywords which has a special character like C++ or C#. And before that also, whenever we are searching for exact phrase, we should be using double quotes. So 3 different use
Okay.
cases for
Yeah,
double quotes.
yeah,
When we
yeah.
are
Thank you.
using for
Thank
an
you.
exact phrase like software engineer or software developer or software programmer. So here I'm
Mhm.
searching for software engineer as an exact phrase. That's where using double quotes. Or software developer, we are using double quote. Or software programmer, we are using double quote. Thumb rule of or, whenever we use or, we are using brackets. Then second use case of double quotes. Double quotes also can be used in a single keyword when we want it as a must to have keyword. That we might not realize in a shorter example, but when we go on a longer example and when we see the list of result where Google is dropping down particular keyword because that has a least number of results, that's where we say no. Let's say if it is a location. No, we say don't drop Bangalore because I need a role, I need a candidate in Bangalore. That is something must to have. From remaining keywords, remaining kills, whatever you can drop. In that case, Bangalore gets into the double quote. Or when we have a use cases of when we are using some of the keywords which has a special character, like C++ or C sharp, though they have a special character. That's where we are using double quotes. Or is different, double quote is different. Double quote can be used for single word. Double quote can be used for any keyword which has a special character, or double quotes can also be used for the whole phrase when we want any particular keyword or a phrase as it is to appear in our search result on LinkedIn, on any job portal, as well as on Google. But when we combine double quote with or, it becomes confused and it start giving us a false positive result. But when we go with like biryani nahi popcorn chahiye, it really does not give any result because there is no particular phrase biryani wala popcorn or biryani nahi popcorn existing on Google. And it is very clear Google is understanding, okay, nahi, this is what the phrase the person is trying to search for. But instead of wala, if I keep or, Google is getting confused. So is that or is doing a job of or here? Though it is doing on a shorter keyword, but when we go on a longer keyword, you might realize that I'm running out of space, or when you're building a what we say custom search engines, you might realize that by using or, I'll have to give a space before and after or. In that way, I'm losing out on the space, so that now it is important for me to save the space. So that's the reason instead of using or, we are using pipe. And the best use case of pipe, it doesn't matter whether you give a space before and after pipe. It doesn't matter. Pipe is pipe, which is a percentage 7C. It will understand as a or.
Yeah, got it. Thanks, Shiva. I actually got a little distracted. That's why. Thank you.
No problem. Are we good with and or on Google and double quotes and brackets on Google?
Yes, yes.
Anyone here? Any other doubts? Any confusion? Satish, hope your doubt is also clear now.
Yeah, Shiv, it does.
Awesome. Anyone else? Any further doubts? Any questions?
No, Shiv, clear.
Awesome. Great. So I think we'll hold on for today here itself because not is a lengthy topic. In next half an hour of thing, we should not be able to cover not. Tomorrow we'll cover not and a various use cases of not. Why I'm saying not is a lengthy topic, tomorrow we'll understand. When we dive deep, we'll understand. Okay.
Okay, Shiva.
Thank you so much. Shiv.
Sure.
All
Good
right.
Thank you,
night.
Shiva.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye. You can just
Shiva,
practice up.
Shiva, I have a question. I'm unable to open this doc ship. Is it because you're using or something like that?
Anyone else facing the same problem? So let me log in with other account. No, it's pretty much accessible. This is my other account, which is my personal account, and so many people are accessing it. You can't edit, but you can view it.
No, I can't view it also.
You're viewing
It's
on mobile?
saying- No, on laptop, Shiv.
Which laptop?
We are able to view Shiv.
Lenovo. It says, sorry, the file you have requested does not exist.
Then maybe a wrong link you are entering. Just check here. Okay, so we are just two tests away. We are just two sessions away, sorry. Tomorrow's one and maybe next weekend. 3 sessions. We are just 3 sessions away from our sourcing test level 1. Whoever scores, the bar is high, which is 100%. Whoever scores 100% will move forward to the forward sessions. So please, please, please go through it again and again. Go through the recording, practice well, and stay focused. Because now we have made slightly changes where there are level of test. And of course, once we clear that level 1, level 2, level 3, you'll also get certification, auto certification it is. In a backend, I'm setting up the scores. As soon as you hit that score, system will generate a certificate for you and send it to your email ID immediately, which you can use it on your LinkedIn or wherever else you want. So like that, there are 8 level of tests.
Anybody can take the test, right, Shiv?
Anybody can take the test.
Yeah.
It's
Thank
open.
you.
Shiv, this is Deepa, yeah?
Mhm.
Shiv, this basically this double inverted commas, that operator. So
Mhm.
it may work or may not work. Final, this one is the same, right?
No, it will work unless
Okay.
you're not confusing it with or. So biryani
Only,
or popcorn.
okay, it is only
We
with
are
the or
confusing it with
operator?
or.
Okay,
See, biryani or popcorn. Or is an operator again.
yes.
And we are confusing it with or. But biryani nahi popcorn, where I'm not using operator. Absolutely zero result. That means double quotes is absolutely working. Unless we are not confusing. Though there are recent changes, but still basics are basics.
Thank you, Shiv.
Earlier when we did like this, biryani or popcorn, there were absolutely no results. Satish, if you're a part of earlier sessions, you can just clear it out once. When we search for biryani space or space popcorn, it was only showing us a list of results where biryani or popcorn as a phrase as it is existing. Otherwise, it was not showing any result at all because there was no phrase existing like that. If there was a phrase biryani space or space popcorn existing, then it was showing as a result. Otherwise, it was not really showing as a result. But after the recent change, what has happened, Google is actually trying to assume, okay, person maybe that might be a typo, that double quote might be a typo. Person may be searching for biryani or popcorn. And that's where we just got the results of some false positive result. But when I said, I'll remove operator and we just say biryani and popcorn. And it's very clear that it's not really understanding as an operator, it is understanding as a keyword. And that's where we just got biryani and popcorn, biryani and popcorn, biryani and popcorn as it is, as a phrase. But when we say, because and is again a keyword, in first case also it is very obvious. Biryani is not really understanding and as an operator. Sorry, Google is not really understanding and as an operator. Instead, and understood by Google as an additional keyword, which is very obvious in this case also. But it's only for the or, it's get confused. But instead of using or, when we used earlier a month back, when I used biryani space or space popcorn, only if the result is existing biryani or popcorn as it is, it was showing. But after a month with the recent changes, it started assuming that, okay, fine, person must be looking out for biryani or popcorn because or has a greater um, um, weightage over other operators for Google. And it's actually assuming, okay, fine, this must be a typo, and that started giving a false positive result. But when we say biryani nahi popcorn, or instead of using any other operator, when we are using some keyword in between, we are not getting a result. If it is existing like biryani and popcorn, we got the result. But biryani nahi popcorn, we did not get the result. Something like Baigan ki biryani. So do we have really result? No, we don't really have a result. Okay. Baigan biryani. Does it exist, Baigan biryani? Yes, it exists. We have Baigan biryani as it is.
So basically only when OR operator is given, it is confusing.
It is confusing, but otherwise, because OR is an operator. So that's the reason it is getting confused and giving a false positive result. Earlier, it was not getting even confused with OR. It was giving just in case if there is a phrase existing biryani or popcorn, it was showing up. Otherwise, it was showing up 0 result. But now there are slight changes that Google started assuming wherever these particular operators are existing. But yes, those slight changes, it doesn't make a huge difference. Very slight, maybe less than 1%.
Thank you, Shiv.
That too because it's getting confused, not because of anything else. And we are only confusing it. Why do we confuse it? All right. You're good?
Yes, Shiv.
Yes, Shiv.
Great. Awesome. Sure, then. Thank you so much. That's it for today. Let's connect tomorrow. And as I mentioned, knot is little deeper. And these are all the basics. Don't think that why I'm stressing so much on the basics. Definitely, these are the basics which are really required for us to build some of the advanced strings, to build some of the nested searches, to understand any application, how these applications are working, or keywords or operators on the particular variety of applications, how are they working, to understand the GitHub search, Stack Overflow search, all stack exchange search, or X-ray searches. Means these are basically the basics, which will make you stronger on your advanced sessions or on your advanced sourcing strategy or on your advanced sourcing skills. If these basics are not stronger, we would not be really able to think like a sourcer, or we would not be really able to connect the dots and try to understand why it is working, why it is not working. The best way, when I said like, if you want to debug just to understand, does it considering like an operator or a keyword, best way to give a search, get into the URL pattern and try to understand.
Hi, Shiv. Just wanted to know, have you uploaded the day 2 session recording on the group?
Yeah, it is uploaded. That's what I'm saying. Just in case if you miss it.
Yeah.
So not just this regular trainings, in between we are also going with some of the on-demand classes or on-demand sessions, something like recently we've gone for ChatGPT for Recruiter, or like about some of the tech talks or some of the sourcing talks, something like how do you convince a candidate to join your company when your company itself is firing. And we are coming up with a lot of initiatives, and also we are giving you the forum for you to come up and ask questions, and there are community members who would join and suggest you the variety of answers. And you are the one who would basically lead the complete session. I would be just sitting in the back end to support you and to keep the discussions in a firm manner, rather it making a burning out of it. So otherwise you'll get it. And those are all the sessions I'll be uploading in the YouTube. So it's always better. I never asked anybody till date to subscribe, but yes, there are a number of pings coming in nowadays because they're missing on the videos. So it's always the best way is like you just go and subscribe so that whenever the new video is uploaded, you get the notification. Also, I'm mentioning in the groups, like in today also, I uploaded the video and I did mention that video has been
Actually,
uploaded.
I found the first day session, but I cannot found the day 2 recording. So actually,
It is there. So,
yeah, it's done today itself. I asked Shiv to upload
today itself
it,
I've
and Shiv just pinged me up in the group.
Okay, so today itself I've done. This is the video which is already uploaded. This is
Yeah.
the channel here. And the recent one, what we're going is on summer batch. Where is it? This one. So here already 2 are uploaded. Third one I would be uploading it. So 1, 2, which is third. Today's is the third session. I'll be uploading in this series. Sourcing Express Summer batch 2.
okay. Thank you. Thank you, Shiv.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, then. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.